Live at 5, bars and restaurants can now keep their lights on a little later as step 1 of Governor Walz's new COVID plan begins. Plus, the officers involved in the death of George Floyd are now facing federal charges over a violation of civil rights.
Ways to talk to your child about sexual assault and how early you should start.
And later, as we honor our moms this weekend, greenhouses in the area say the holiday is bringing in a lot of business.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look over the city of Duluth tonight as step 1 of Governor Walz's plan to ending COVID restrictions is now in effect. Bars and restaurants no longer have to close earlier than their regular times. And later tonight, we hear from local business owners about what this change means to them. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Bakke. The 4 former Minneapolis police officers involved in the arrest and death of George Floyd now face federal charges. A 3-count federal indictment was unsealed today, charging the men with willfully violating Floyd's civil rights. Michael George has more from New York.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has now been indicted by a federal grand jury just weeks after being convicted on state charges for the murder of George Floyd. The 3-count federal indictment accuses Chauvin and 3 other former officers, Thomas Lane, Jay King, and Tu Tao, of violating Floyd's civil rights. Count 1 alleges Chauvin used unreasonable force. New York Law School professor Rebecca Royfee explains this means Chauvin now faces another trial, this time federal, with a new jury.
It alleges that the officers violated George Floyd's civil rights, meaning that they interfered with his constitutional rights. Here, the right to be free from an unreasonable seizure, which also involves the right to be free from an unreasonable use of force.
Tao and King were charged in connection with failing to intervene to stop Chauvin while he knelt on Floyd's neck. Chauvin is also facing a second federal indictment, this one for an incident in September of 2017. He's accused of holding his knee on the neck and back of a handcuffed 14-year-old for 17 minutes. Floyd family attorney Ben Crump responded in a statement, quote, "We're encouraged by these charges and eager to see continued justice in this historic case that will impact black citizens and all Americans for generations to come." Royfee says being charged federally after a state conviction is unusual, but it's a sign the federal government wants to make sure Chauvin and the other defendants face consequences.
After this year of reckoning with racial justice issues, the federal government, especially under Biden, wants to make a clear statement about its stance with regard to police brutality.
All 4 also face charges for failure to provide Floyd with medical care. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Chauvin's sentencing for murder and manslaughter is set for June. The other 3 former officers are expected to face their state criminal trial this summer. The man accused of holding 5 employees hostage at a bank in St. Cloud is in custody after an hours-long standoff. St. Cloud's police chief says the suspect, 35-year-old Ray McNeary, has a long criminal history. Police say McNeary was involved in a dispute at the bank on Thursday afternoon, and the branch manager called police. Many people had run out of the bank by the time officers arrived, but 5 employees were held hostage. McNeary was eventually arrested without incident. Tonight, we're digging deeper after news yesterday of sexual assault charges against Twin Ports gymnastics coach George Deppa. The Superior man is charged with sexually assaulting 2 teens between the summer of 2020 and last month. They say the alleged abuse happened at the 47-year-old's home and on a boat. When parents hear about a sexual predator in their child's community, many are left scared and confused, wondering if their child is also a victim. CBS3's Kendall Jarbo spoke with a child advocacy expert and shares how parents should approach their kids about this tough topic.
I spoke with Mel Alvar, a child advocate at PAVSA, who says it's never too early or too late to talk with your kids about what healthy relationships look like and how sexual abuse is never the child's fault. Alvar works with families who have experienced sexual violence through the Program for Aid to Victims of Sexual Assault, or PAVSA. She says parents should talk to their kids about things like consent and understanding that their body is their own. If parents hear an assault case in their community, Alvar says they should keep an open line of communication with their kids and ask about their thoughts.
We're not always going to be there to be able to protect our children, so we need to help them build the tools to be able to recognize that gut feeling that I'm uncomfortable and I think I should tell somebody about it.
Healthy and open conversations with your kids should start early and happen often. Alvar says to emphasize it's never the child's fault and they should always trust their gut when something doesn't seem right. I asked Alvar, if a child doesn't want to open up to their parent about sexual assault, how should the parent respond? We'll share her answer coming up at 6.
Okay, thanks, Kendall. And also at 6, we'll hear what the Douglas County District Attorney says parents should do if they believe a crime has been committed against their child. Additionally, both PAVSA in Duluth and CASDA in Superior want to support you. PAVSA offers free and confidential therapy for people in southern St. Louis County. Their 24-hour helpline is 218-726-1931. CASDA supports people in Superior, and their main line is 715-392-3136. Both phone numbers and additional resources can be found on our website. Call 911 if you are in immediate danger. And in COVID news today, drug maker Pfizer has officially begun the process to receive full FDA approval for its COVID-19 vaccine. Currently, the vaccine is FDA approved for emergency use for adults and older teens. The application for approval may take a few weeks to file and a few months to be reviewed. So far, about 150 million Americans have received a dose of a vaccine, and 42% of Americans have been fully vaccinated. This comes as Pfizer's vaccine may be authorized for emergency use in kids ages 12 to 15 as soon as next week, and as more and more states begin the process of opening back up. And Minnesota is one of those states. Starting today, capacity limits on outdoor dining and events have officially ended. The first step in Governor Tim Walz's plan to end the state's COVID-19 restrictions took effect at noon today. You now don't have to wear a mask at outdoor events unless there's more than 500 people. Restaurants and bars can also go back to regular closing times. Coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from some business owners about just how much that means to them financially. And as we reported yesterday, next up in Walz's plan is ending capacity limits for all indoor events. That takes effect on May 28th. Step 3 is ending the statewide mask mandate. That will happen either when 70% of Minnesotans 16 and older are vaccinated or by July 1st at the latest. Meanwhile, Wisconsin health officials have ordered only a fraction of their allotted COVID-19 vaccine doses for next week. Officials say it's another sign of plateauing interest in getting vaccinated. The Department of Health said the state has ordered more than 9,000 Pfizer doses, 2,000 Moderna, and just 2,100 Johnson & Johnson doses. That's compared to tens of thousands ordered in previous weeks. They say demand for vaccines in the state is softening, noting that 1 in 3 Wisconsin residents are now fully vaccinated. A local police canine is about to make an even bigger name for himself. Canine Chase is a well-known face in Hibbing. He and police officer Joey Burns work together to keep the city safe. But recently, the two also teamed up in a new way on the TV show America's Top Dog. The Canine Obstacle Course show airs on A&E. Burns says their episode is expected to air on the show's new season. You can watch him compete on June 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time. I have a feeling he's going to do pretty good. I've interacted with Canine Chase before. He's a very good boy.
Wow, he's been after you, huh?
In a good way.
All right, that's good to hear, Kristen. I kind of wondered, traffic stop gone awry. Oh, well, let's talk about the weather gone awry as far as rain goes, because we're entering a dry spell now. That slight rain shower chance we had last night's well off to the east now, and the clouds are departing with it as higher pressure takes over the region. So we take a look at our most far west sky cam that we have to look at, and it shows a blue sky up above, the Jacobson area here. And boy, even though we lost the snow over a month ago, green up has been awfully slow. We're seeing it green up a little bit on the sides of the roads, but the trees themselves, they're budding. It seems slowly. Maybe it's perfectly normal. I'm a meteorologist, not a botanist. It just seems different. And it's going to stay dry for the week ahead and a little bit cooler than normal for a little while. So tonight, partly cloudy sky with a low near 30. That's pretty chilly. Some folks to us to the south who already have a growing season going are facing freeze warnings. But up here, since we usually don't plant until June anyway, we're doing all right. Tomorrow, 57 for a high temp with a partly cloudy sky is still just a couple degrees below normal. How's Sunday going to fare? Frankly, I think even cooler than that. But then it'll perk up next week a bit, and I'll show you that with the 7-day forecast in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, a campground will remain closed this weekend due to prescribed burns. We'll tell you which one as we go around the Northland after the break.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS3.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. With over 40 filtration systems, from the world's best softener and safer drinking water systems, no one filters more than Culligan Water. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan Water, the local water expert.
What's the better DTA movement? Duluth Transit Authority is listening and working to improve your experience. Better routing, better bus stops, and better technology to plan your trips. Visit DuluthTransit.com to see how the DTA is making Twin Ports Transit better.
Storm damage happens, and when it does, turn to Peak Construction Roofing, the Northland storm damage experts. Peak simplifies the process for you every step of the way. With our skilled technicians, we quickly survey the situation to determine the best course of action. We offer insurance claims assistance to eliminate insurance confusion. Plus, we offer free storm damage inspections. Call Peak today to set up your free storm damage inspection, and let us take care of you.
Funerals can be emotionally devastating for a family to go through. Besides the sorrow, loved ones are left with the high cost of arranging a funeral. Funeral Advantage was formed to help protect your family when they need it most. It pays your loved ones up to $20,000 immediately for funeral and any other expenses.
It's a good feeling to know that my family will be taken care of if anything happens to me.
Funerals can easily cost $9,000 or more, but government benefits pay only $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the rest.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions. This is so affordable, even for someone like me who's on a fixed income.
If you're 40 to 85, get information on how to protect your family. Funeral Advantage is something we all need. There's no risk or obligation. Call now.
Get the facts about how easy it is to protect your family. There's no risk or obligation. Don't wait. Call the number on your screen now.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Spirit Mountain on this Friday evening. It's also Mother's Day on Sunday, and Dave will be in just a few minutes with that weekend forecast for you as we head into that holiday. A speaker event series is wrapping up in Superior next week, and a natural history museum is ready to open back up its doors. All of that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We start tonight in the Superior National Forest, where campground closure has been extended through the weekend. The Birch Lake Campground and boat access will now be closed until Monday at noon. The closure was supposed to end today, but officials have planned additional units to burn within the Kangas burn plan. The Forest Service's goal with the prescribed burns is to reduce hazardous fuels and improve forest health. The Birch Lake Campground is on the Cowishiwi Ranger District and has been closed since Tuesday. Next, we head to Wisconsin Point, where coming up on Wednesday, the Wisconsin Sea Grant will wrap up its River Talk series. The final session of the season will be called Ojibwe Connection to Wisconsin Point, Past, Present, and Future. The discussion will center on events that brought the Ojibwe to Wisconsin Point, what's occurred since, and what the future vision for Fond du Lac-owned lands is. The event will last about an hour. Masks are encouraged, and participants are asked to bring chairs. And we wrap up in Cable, Wisconsin, where a community building is gearing up to open back up. The Cable Natural History Museum plans to reopen its doors to the public on May 15th. Operation hours will be Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Their summer-long featured exhibit will be Mysteries of the Night, exploring animals and wildlife that are active from dusk to dawn. They will also have summer-long outdoor programs, including loon pontoon tours, junior naturalist activity days, and more. Of course, if there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city. Still to come on Live at 5, a new 30-year climatology report just released by the National Weather Service. What it had to say about Minnesota in just a few minutes.
Well, today was a pleasant enough day, but we continued our cooler than normal trend. The normal is now nudged up to 60. 50 is what we achieved today. We could go towards 57 tomorrow, but drop back to 50 by Sunday. Later next week, though, 60 is achievable and even beatable. And we'll show you when with the 7-day forecast right after our break.
Shed some light on your home right now at Menards and find your style with Patriot Lighting. Inside and outside, Patriot Lighting offers lighting options to fit any need. Our wide selection of lighting styles is perfect for your unique taste and will match your existing decor. The Finney collection features a modern metal design that's both practical and stylish. All Patriot Lighting options are 11% off right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards. We pick up the phone because it's ringing. Hello, this is Sam. That's simple human sense.
Ask J3 Insurance in Duluth if auto owners make sense for you.
Dude! You gonna pick that up? Because there's no poop fairy to do that for you. See? Take these. They're not just poop bags. They're pride bags. Because you're doing the right thing for your neighbors and for the health of the whole watershed. Gotta fly. There's a Chihuahua cranking one out in Leicester right now. There is no poop fairy.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. Join me, Kristen Vaki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining.
Brought to you by Range Regional Airport. Watch Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki every Tuesday at 10. Only on live, local CBS3.
Northwest Outlet with all the brand names you want, including the North Face and Columbia.
Talking to your kids about sexual assault is not easy, but there's a reason it's so important.
Today, things started to dry up around our region. I'll talk about how long they'll stay that way.
Tonight at 6 on CBS3. CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Breeze Roofing. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
All right, it's time to take a look at today's high temperatures, and we pretty much bubbled under normal again. It's been a trend with us a couple days. It will be with us for a few more days, but eventually we'll get back to normal, which is 60, and then beat it. Yeah, we're probably going to really enjoy that heat when it finally does come. But here's a look at today's top temps. Then only 48 for Ely, 54 International Falls, low 50s towards Hibbing, and 54 towards Moose Lake, 50 Silver Bay, 52 in Superior, 49 Ashland, and Hayward too, and really low towards the Upper Peninsula. Ironwood and Watersmeet only the lower 40s there. Tomorrow we will get better. We'll get into the upper 50s, and maybe a place like Hayward will get to 60 normal tomorrow, but that'll be the exception, not the norm, at least for a little while. Again, if we're patient, when we Northlanders always are, we'll get back to normal in a couple of days. Rain chances, we had a slight one last night, didn't pay off much, and it'll be several more days before we get another one of those to talk about. But I do see one in sight, maybe even two on our 7-day forecast. We'll chat about that after these current conditions. Airport in Duluth is 50. Relative humidity is 38%, low again, but not as bad as yesterday. The fire danger is still high, but it's not near critical like it was yesterday. So you can breathe a little bit easier when outdoors, but don't take it too easy. Be careful. 30.12 inches of mercury is our air pressure on the high side as higher pressure settles in behind yesterday's departing low. Current temperature still a bit chilly indeed for the Upper Peninsula, about 40. Maybe 41 from Watersmeet to Ironwood. Wisconsin and Michigan, a bit warmer. We're running 46 to 53 degrees. Superior is the warm spot for that part of our world. And then the Minnesota numbers are going from 45 up the Gunflint to about 54 degrees over towards Big Fork and an arc down towards Moose Lake. A little bit warmer tomorrow, like I mentioned. And then waiting till next week, we do start to get a bit warmer than that even. So there's yesterday's low, just brought a few sprinkles. It's moving to the east. Higher pressure is settling in for the weekend, and it's going to bring sunny and dry conditions, but cooler than normal conditions, at least through Saturday and for Sunday. Next week, there is a chance of rain coming our way, but it may be quite a spell before that low from the west gets to us to bring us a pair of shower chances. Those chances likely will be next Thursday and Friday. So the dry spell lasts from now through about Wednesday. Then finally, hopefully some relief from the rain showers comes our way. And in conjunction with this low in these showers, it'll warm up to warmer than normal conditions. Tonight, what are we talking about temperature-wise in Minnesota? Lows will dip into the low 20s near International Falls and be in the mid-30s by the lake. Everyone else in between with a partly cloudy sky up on top. Wisconsin, Michigan, low temps will run 25 to 30. For tomorrow, daytime highs 55 to 60. So down around Cable, Hayward, Trigo, you'll get to normal. The rest of us missing it just by a little bit. Partly cloudy sky tomorrow for Wisconsin and Minnesota and the UP. High temps 55 to 59 in Minnesota inland, a little cooler by the lake. Extended forecast shows finally by Tuesday, there we go, we hit 60. Then we go to 65 by next Friday. And for some relief with the rain, slight chances hit us both Thursday and Friday.
All right, thanks, Dave. Duluth is warmer, wetter, and snowier. That's according to a new 30-year climatology report just released by the National Weather Service. In fact, the data shows Minnesota's average temperatures have been climbing faster than most of the United States. Over the last century, Minnesota's temperature has climbed just under 2.5 degrees, while the nation as a whole is just over 1 degree. Kenneth Blumenfeld, a senior state climatologist, says a lot of that has to do with our long, cold nights and winters.
These greenhouse gases are essentially most active during night and during the winter time. And, Minnesota has very long winters, famously long winters and long nights during the winter.
Blumenfeld also said Minnesota is warming faster because we don't have an ocean cooling us down. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll take a closer look at some temperature changes we have seen right here in the Northland. Well, with warmer temperatures here, many are starting to get a green thumb. The Spring at Last greenhouse in Duluth opened yesterday. Owners say they've already been busy with gardeners looking for hanging plants, bouquets, and all sorts of gardening needs, especially ahead of Mother's Day. Typically, the greenhouse season runs from the start of May and ends mid-June. Spring at Last owner says since the start of the pandemic, more people have shown an interest in getting their hands dirty.
Gardening has picked up tremendously, and we have had so many people call interested in gardening that haven't done it before, that are just asking how to get started.
We have a link to some helpful tips for gardening flowers or vegetables on our website. Well, it's that time of the show where we get to talk about adoptable pets. Instead of just one today, though, we're sharing a weekend-long event from Animal Allies. The Humane Society is holding an adoption event starting today and running through Sunday. All dog and puppy adoption fees will be reduced by $50. If you'd like to check out some of the pups that are available, you can set up an appointment with Animal Allies. To do that, you can call the number on your screen. Still to come, a Chinese rocket is set to come back to Earth this weekend. The problem is, no one knows just where it's going to crash. We have more on that after the break.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. Plus, subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
At Extreme, we know when your internet works, your life works. Living with unreliable internet or slow speeds is a hassle you can't afford. So don't just settle for subpar service. Get Extreme Internet and transform your whole home. Prices start at $19.99 a month for 1 year. You deserve fast, reliable internet. With Extreme, you can get speeds from 60 meg up to an amazing 1 gig. Right now, prices start at less than $20 a month for 1 year. Call us today, 844-EXTREME-2.
Take the stress and confusion out of repairing, maintaining, or improving your home. Outlast Construction Roofing and Siding's expert contractors install top-quality roofing and siding to ensure maximum efficiency. Dreading dealing with your insurance claims? Don't worry, we work with your insurance company to make it stress-free. With free inspections and estimates, you'll have all the information you need to take the next step. And if you schedule your construction by May 31st, we'll install free seamless gutters, a $1,200 value. Learn more online.
We remember your name. Hi, Cheryl.
Hello.
Because it's your name. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Holden Insurance Agency if auto owners make sense for you.
What should have been just a normal junior year for soccer captain Carson Schulte turned into an unexpected nightmare.
A couple of surgeons came in and they would just assume that he'd been battling Crohn's his entire life. And when we told them that he wasn't, they were pretty surprised that it happened so quickly.
You're gonna crash and burn if you have a bad mindset. So you just gotta try and stay as positive as you can at all times.
His story of resiliency battling Crohn's disease Thursday on CBS3.
If you're unsure about receiving a COVID-19 vaccine,
we're here to reassure you that the vaccines are safe and effective.
They've been approved for emergency use by the FDA through a rigorous testing process.
And they've all been found to be nearly 100% effective at preventing hospitalization and death.
Because of this data, you can be confident that receiving your COVID-19 vaccine protects you and your loved ones.
Supplies are limited, so as soon as you have an opportunity to be vaccinated, please do so.
Thank you for doing your part to end this pandemic.
Is being challenged by DFL.
The race is on. Learn how Berkey 2021
is safe to be ice fishing on Lake Superior?
New funding is bringing more mental health resources.
Dave Anderson.
How a popular new recreational area is allowed.
Hear how one vaccination clinic in West Duluth is focusing
into the COVID-19 pandemic, and food insecurity is still
new year, new ownership.
To stay up to date with the news and weather that impacts you and your community, join us weekdays for CBS3 Live at 5.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell. Weeknights on CBS.
A rogue rocket is barreling back down to Earth, and if you haven't heard yet, no one knows exactly where it will land this weekend. But a local professor says we can breathe easy here in the Northland. China launched the 100-foot-tall rocket a little over a week ago. Part of it was supposed to have a controlled descent back to Earth, but something went wrong and it started skipping on the atmosphere. Some of it could burn up on its way down, but there's a chance some chunks could rain down on land or in the ocean. One professor at St. Scholastica explains why he thinks it's impossible for the rocket to fall in our region.
The region in which it's orbiting is limited in terms of how far north and how far south it could possibly land, and we are outside of that zone. So it is entirely impossible for the rocket to land anywhere near here.
Space experts are saying the threat of any damage is very small. They also say it's not uncommon for things to fall from space. This rocket is just unusually large. We'll be right back after the break.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
For over 20 years, Breeze Roofing has been totally dedicated to getting the job done right, and done right now. We pride ourselves on being the highest quality exterior remodelers in the area. Call Breeze for all your roofing needs.
Funerals can be emotionally devastating for a family to go through. Besides the sorrow, loved ones are left with the high cost of arranging a funeral. Funeral Advantage was formed to help protect your family when they need it most. It pays your loved ones up to $20,000 immediately for funeral and any other expenses.
It's a good feeling to know that my family will be taken care of if anything happens to me.
Funerals can easily cost $9,000 or more, but government benefits pay only $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the rest.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions. This is so affordable, even for someone like me who's on a fixed income.
If you're 40 to 85, get information on how to protect your family. Funeral Advantage is something we all need. There's no risk or obligation. Call now.
Get the facts about how easy it is to protect your family. There's no risk or obligation. Don't wait. Call the number on your screen now.
Gail King, Anthony Mason, and Tony DeCopel. Weekday mornings on CBS.
I'm Dave. This is Calvin. Welcome to the neighborhood.
You mind if I cut in? I'm trying to spice Mondays up for everybody.
Let's get this party started. Bring your friends.
What was that?
I was expressing my enthusiasm.
Watch the neighborhood. Watch.
Have a show around.
I'm in.
Boom. Hard to wrap my head around.
Once the bottle half empty.
I started celebrating early. Bring your
Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men. Our buy one, get one for $1 suit and sport coat sale is now in progress. Hundreds of options. Mainstream, downtown Duluth.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Canal Park on this Friday evening. Let's take a look back at today's top story and see what's coming up at 6. Tonight at 5, we learned that the 4 former Minneapolis police officers involved in the arrest and death of George Floyd now face federal charges for willfully violating Floyd's civil rights. Derek Chauvin, who was found guilty on all counts last month in the death of Floyd, also faces a second federal indictment for a 2017 incident. And tonight at 6, water levels on Lake Superior are down nearly 4 inches. We hear from a local homeowner who says he's grateful for a break from the typical windstorms and immense erosion to his property. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next. See you at 6.